Facebook. Happy Friday night. Katie Walsh here again. I am here in my gym. It's very empty and very white and not much going on right now, but I'm excited to get it started and up. Just got off a 13-hour shift, so I'm a little tired. Hopefully you can hear me. I feel like it's kind of, sound is crazy. I've never done a video in here, but I didn't want to do it in my kitchen. Got too much stuff going on, so I wanted to jump on here live and talk a little bit about, since I have been talking about emotional eating and how it's not your fault and your mindset and kind of just getting to the brink of emotional eating and food addiction, if you will, sugar addiction, these kinds of things that really go on in our society that people are just so hush-hush about, don't talk about, and it's more so focused and centered among weight loss. Weight loss is the big thing, and that is people's why. I talk to so many people and people that I'm helping, people that trust in me as their coach. I always ask, what are your goals? What do you want to do? And when I get to hear, their kind of emotional ties with food and how food makes them feel good, and they give me their whole story, and then, we're talking and this and that, and it's always almost comes down to this. I'm like, what is your goal? They're like, I want to lose however many pounds. I want to lose 5 pounds. I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to lose 75 pounds. And I'm like, okay, why? And they just look at me like, I don't know. I want to feel good in a bathing suit. And I'm like, okay, why? And they're like, it's almost like they're stuck, right? They're stuck. And the point is that I'm trying to make, and that I tell them, is that if you want to be healthy, if you want to break emotional ties with food, if you really, really want this, if you want this to be lifestyle, like never have an emotional tie with food, really work on it every single day. If you really, really, really want this, then you have to work on that why. Your why cannot be, I want to lose 5 pounds. Your why cannot be, like me, I want to lose 100 pounds. I can relate to this because when I started my journey, 2 years ago, before I started coaching, and I had a coach, I told her, I was like, I want to lose this weight. And I did. I kind of went in that all or nothing mindset, which is crazy, but I started feeling good and I started feeling the benefits of it. And luckily for me, and it's not for everyone because they're not in a community of people, but for me, I got to shift my mindset, instead of weight loss, it being more of a healthy lifestyle journey. And I was gaining so many things other than the weight loss or the numbers. And I was seeing so much improvement in myself, not only with emotional ties to food, but in my life. I was gaining a life back. And that's when I started to discover my why. And, it did start with that poundage loss. And if I would have started with that without my community, I would have failed because I've done it so many times in the past. I've done it for over 20 years. I have gone on a diet, right? I remember doing a smoothie diet when I was working in the hospital years and years ago, and it lasted for a week. And then I failed, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't lose this weight, so I'm gonna give up. And that was it. And that's what happens. You go on a diet, and you think of it, I want to lose 5 pounds. That's not a lifestyle change, and that's not what gonna break your ties with food. If you are thinking of it as a numbers game, you are never gonna break that emotional tie with food because you're not getting into the core of your why. I'll tell you this, my why is much more than just the poundage loss. I love the way healthy food makes me feel. When I do have a cheat meal, I feel like crap, and it reminds me of those days when I didn't feel good and I felt guilty of myself, and that I wasn't the best person I have ever been, and that I was made fun of for so long in high school and middle school, and it was just a miserable time, and really, really hard. But if I would have looked at it like I want to lose 100 pounds, I would have never ever gotten there, ever gotten there, because those core whys were never sought out. They were never looked at. And like I said in my last video, a lot of things are going on behind our backs. A lot of manipulation happens in that food industry. And a lot of manipulation in society, especially with dieting, diets want you to fail, so you keep buying their products, and for that reason, you don't want to just go into it saying, I want to lose 5 pounds, because it is not a lifestyle change. It is a temporary change. And what happens when you do achieve that goal? What happens when you do achieve that 50-pound goal, that 100-pound goal, that 5-pound goal? You're like, I achieved it, and now I'm done. And now I can go back to where I was, and then I can just gain that 5 pounds, and I can gain that 50 pounds. And you never really understood the journey. You never really dug deep into the journey, and you never really understood what it's like to face challenges and go through mental breaks, and always step up when you're feeling those mental breaks. It's just an amazing journey. And if you start thinking of it instead of a lifestyle, instead of a numbers game, you can really adapt a healthy lifestyle. You can really adapt and break those emotional ties with food. If I always thought of it as a numbers game, I would have never broken those ties with food. And that is the number one step to get you to reach that breaking point of emotional ties with food. You have to dig deep, dig way deep into that core, just like an onion, peeling back those layers. Why do you want to lose 5 pounds? Well, I want to feel good when I'm in a bikini. Well, why do you want to feel good when you're in a bikini? Because this, and that. And you start peeling back layers, start peeling back into your past, start peeling back and peeling back and peeling back until finally you're in that core of that onion, and you can really, really understand why. And it can just set you off on this lifestyle journey and set you off really, really far, and can break all those emotional ties with food. And I just find it to be so powerful to find that why, because that is what's going to stop you when you go for, at work. When I'm at work as a nurse, I go into the staff lounge and there's donuts and everyone's enjoying them and everyone's like, oh my gosh, this tastes so good. Well, I'm going to reach for it if I'm like, oh, my goal is to lose 5 pounds. That's my only goal. Well, I'm going to reach for it. I'm not going to set myself back. But if I, in another moment, go in there and I'm like, okay, what's my why? My why is to feel strong. My why is to show my kids a healthier lifestyle so they don't have to feel what I felt with my emotional ties to food. So many whys, and it's so personal, and that's why it's so hard to kind of break through it, and it's something that you really have to work on for yourselves. And what I would recommend as far as trying to find your why is to journal. Journaling can be really powerful because trying to find your why is super hard, especially if you have some sort of anxiety or mindset kind of issues. And it can kind of put it on paper and can kind of make you realize what you're thinking, because you have so many thoughts going on. It's hard to catch those thoughts. It really puts it on paper, and you can just be like, wow, this is what I was thinking, or, so forth. So you can just really have that mindset shift if you're journaling, because it all comes out on paper, and it's something that is really powerful. So if you were just going into this thinking you want to lose 5 pounds, well, I can tell you this. If we ever talk or anything, and you tell me I want to lose 5 pounds, that's my goal, I'm going to test you on that, because that is something that's not going to last. That is not a lifestyle change. That is not a deep reason inside your gut to why you want to break emotional ties with food or why you want to live a healthy lifestyle. You really have to dig deep into your why, and that is what's going to get you further and through those challenges with those donuts in the break room, or those cakes at the birthday parties that you want one piece, but then when you have that one piece, you're going to have the whole cake. Or the birthday parties at 12 o'clock and you have that one piece of cake, and then you're going for it the rest of the day because you said I messed up, but it's only 5 pounds. That's my goal. That's not a big deal. So but if you went into it with a deeper why, a deeper meaning, a deeper layer that was cut off of that onion, then you can really achieve something. You can really change mentally, physically, emotionally. And I think it's so powerful. So if you have a powerful why, if it's something that you have really looked into and really dug deep with, I would love to hear it. Comment below, or try to get a journal. I love journaling. I have tons of journals, but something that I need to bring back into my life because it has helped me with my why and where I am and how I want to move forward. So I hope everyone has a great night. My point is to just, really dig deep into your why if this is what you really want to do, if you want to break emotional ties with food, because it has to be so powerful that when you do see those setbacks, those mental setbacks that you can have, that you will break through them, and it won't just be a poundage loss or a measure, because it can't be measured, it can't be defined. It's something that's got to be a core, a power, and very powerful. So thanks for jumping on, guys, and I hope that you really have some whys and really learning something through these series that I'm doing with emotional eating and breaking habits. So have a great night. It's Friday night and rainy and nasty here, and I am gonna have my shake, and peace out. Bye.